camera's off.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
we're recording.
Sorry,
now.
it is. Okay,
We
perfect.
can see you. We can hear you.
I
What
can
am I
see right
seeing
there.
at the bottom of y'all's
Oh
screen?
yeah, what is
What's at
that?
the
Is that
bottom?
your
Oh.
iPad screen?
No.
Stop hitting the camera.
Maybe I could just drop it down. Well,
Jesus
this looks better
Christ.
here than this, right? Let's put this away, and then we can. Does that look better now?
Yeah.
And we can see
Yeah,
them. It
that
doesn't
looks
work. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my god.
All of my.
It's
Cheers, besties. Oh no.
I'm gonna fight you.
I know who I'm betting on in this fight.
me too. Honestly.
So are you guys finally doing this thing?
Is this actually happening?
Yeah.
Are y'all
Finally.
actually doing the thing?
It doesn't matter. I can just put it in and then yeah. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
they're doing what we did at the beginning, which
Oh,
was like
that's so
changing shirts and pretending they were from different days. Oh.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing.
They.
Aww.
Oh my god. I can't.
I'm so
They
glad
get
this is
1,000
happening.
subscribers and they go straight to their head.
No, yeah, I know. Right? They're freaking just the worst.
I've had a big
And they're
head for a
from
lot
Texas.
longer than now.
What are you getting?
From is a strong word.
I think we should
Oh,
just
come
do
on.
the damn thing, right? Let's
Just
do the
do
damn
the
thing.
damn
Do the
thing.
damn thing. We
Thank
should say
you.
this all-
We got
should
this.
all four of us say this at once.
Yes.
Yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's
Just
do the
do
damn
the
Do
thing.
the
damn
damn thing.
Perfect. Perfect. I
This
loved
is
it.
so good. I'm so happy this is happening.
I think you're stupid, and I think it's the best book I've ever read.
I'm gonna hate you if you actually believe that. Hey, how you doing? We're Law Library. I'm Dantes,
I'm Jacob.
and this is our first video. We're starting off our first video with our monthly wraps. Thank you for joining us. We've read quite a bit in the month of October.
I don't know. You've read a lot more than me, so.
So, Jacob, why don't you start off since you read less?
Okay, we're actually starting with the two things that we read together, and that is going to be Never Let Me Go
Oh, you actually
by
have the...
Kazuo Ishiguro.
Yes.
It's their first one. We read this for a book club. What did you think of it?
I thought the first half of the book was it was kind of a letdown. I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought it was a translation issue, and then it turns out it was written in English, so it wasn't a translation issue. I found it mid. I didn't connect with the characters as well. It was kind of bland. A lot of the interesting stuff seems to be glossed over by the main protagonist, and it didn't hit for me.
Yeah. So I really love this book. I think when I first came off of it, after just finishing reading it, I think I was more in the camp with you, but after sitting with it for a day or two, I kind of thought about it a lot more, and I think it really just kind of grew on me. And I think this might be one of my, this is pretty up there in kind of favorite books territory.
Yeah. I mean, thematically, it's really nice. It's done really well, especially at the end, because in the beginning, you don't really understand what's going on a lot, but thematically, it does really pull its weight. I still find the prose lacking, and the character development was kind of so it just didn't land as well for me.
All right, and the second thing we read together this month was...
I can't believe you actually have this book.
Tabatha. Well, it's from the library.
Okay, that's fine.
So, both of us did not enjoy this book very much.
No.
We had kind of different experiences with the author, R.F. Kuang, coming into it. I know, I think did you read the entire Poppy War trilogy or just the first one?
No, so I read the first book and DNF'd halfway through the second book.
Yeah, and then I read Babel and really enjoyed it. I read Yellowface and felt more meh about it, but then this one I really did not like.
Yeah, she was popular for quite a while. I mean, she still is. Cat. No, it's perfect. We leave it in. Yeah, she was popular for a while. Obviously, Poppy War came out a big success, and a lot of people were really enjoying it. I did not have the same experience. And then everything else that came afterwards, I asked kind of the same questions I had. I asked questions regarding the same issues I had with Poppy War, and it didn't seem like it changed with her. And then Jacob forced me to read Catabasis for this, so you're welcome. Yeah, let's go with you, because I have very strong opinions about this, but let's go with you. What do you think about it?
I think we're going to save this, because I think both of these are going to be review videos.
For sure.
In the future. But yeah, mostly it's for kind of a brief thoughts about it. I didn't like the writing as much as I did in Babel. I thought it was a step down from what she did in Babel. I thought it was closer to what Yellowface was, but in Yellowface I thought that kind of style of writing was a little more forgivable because it was a different genre and it was in a very modern time period.
I can see that.
So I felt the writing was a little more forgivable there. This I was looking for something more like Babel. And then I felt that some of the theme work was kind of tone deaf a little bit. And then I just thought the kind of structure of the book was just a mess.
I want to say a lot of those things I feel the same way. Mostly, I did not connect with the writing at all. It's very dry. The characters and the character development in that book was just really, really bad. And yeah, plot was all over the place. Setting itself was kind of trash. It's hell. It's supposed to be interesting. It felt like it was just a copy and paste of Dante's Inferno or Milton's Inferno or whatever. Paradise Lost. But all of it just didn't land with me. It was really dry. I didn't like the characters. A lot of the character development seemed to happen in the flashbacks that was not hinted at or even whatever. We're going to talk about more in depth later, but it was a bad time and I did not enjoy that.
Oh, we do have one more that we read together.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah.
That's Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice.
Awesome.
This I felt kind of mid on.
Another library book.
Yes, yeah. I thought the writing was very good. The prose itself was very well done, and everything else kind of really lacked for me.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed this book. I came into it having watched the movie years ago, so I don't really remember the movie all too well, but I remember reading the first half of the book and enjoying and like kind of having that nostalgic hit. I felt the second half of the book picked up a little bit more, but I also felt like it was a little bit more of a mess. I do agree with you that the writing was the best part about this novel. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than you, or not a lot more, but I had a good time with it. I think I gave it a 4. And characters were fine. I thought the atmosphere was good, and kind of hearing about the stuff after the fact, like stuff about the author and her life, and kind of made me enjoy the book a little bit more too.
Okay, all right. So next up for me, this is my kind of collected copy, the Library of America edition of Ursula K. Le Guin's Hainish Cycle books.
Oh.
This is what I read Rocannon's World out of. So Rocannon's World was her first published novel.
Okay.
It was very weird. It's this kind of science fantasy. It's kind of this science fiction fantasy kind of mix, and there was some cool ideas in it that I thought I wish got a little more attention.
Yeah.
But it's more of just kind of your classic kind of fantasy adventure story with a little bit of a sci-fi like twist in it. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I have a tough time with Le Guin and her science fiction. Her fantasy, I love. Well, the only fantasy that I've read of hers is Earthsea, but her science fiction is really rough with sometimes, and very big themes and very like ahead of her times. But it's just it doesn't land with me. Period. I think the way she does science fiction is not how she does fantasy, and it's rough sometimes.
All right. Next up for me was Stoner by
Awesome
John
book.
Williams.
Awesome book.
I read this on a recommendation from you, and
Yes.
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was an incredible book.
I've had multiple of my friends, like and mostly women, but like they say that they don't enjoy this book, but all the guys seem to enjoy it. I don't know why.
I mean, I think I can get it. It's just a story of this guy's life, and you're very much in his head and how he kind of sees the world, and just in the way that like he struggles. I think I could get kind of women not liking it as much because you're very much in his head in the time period. I think it's like the 30s and 40s.
Yep.
And you're only getting his perspective. You're not getting, so he kind of like, I mean, in the book, he kind of has this very complicated relationship with his wife. And so he kind of grows this kind of disdain for her almost. And you don't get her side of it. So it kind of seems like she's being like kind of almost evil.
Yeah.
In a sense, but it's all through his perception. You're not getting her thought process around anything.
That's true. Yeah, I guess. I still did not like her character, obviously, because of how she, I guess, portrayed, or at least seen by the main character. So
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah. Next up, I read The Hobbit.
just bang after bang.
Yes.
Man.
This was not the first time I read this, but it was a very, very long time since I read it.
Oh, okay. Right.
I think the last time I read it, I was 13 or 14 or something, so it's been over 10 years since.
And you
I
hated it
picked
when you
up.
were 13 or 14 because you seem like that kind of guy.
No, I think I remember liking it. But I wanted to reread this because I never read The Lord of the Rings. I've only ever read The Hobbit. So I wanted to reread this, and I'm hoping to get to The Lord of the Rings in December or January.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love the special edition with all the art and everything.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Find a picture and kind of show it.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to find one that's not like a map or just a hill. Oh, there it is. See, that's very nice. I like that. See it? There it is. Beautiful. Hobbit is one of my favorites. I think I like it more than Lord of the Rings, just because I mean it's more condensed, obviously, and I kind of enjoy kind of the not necessarily the whimsy, but just like that fresh feel. That kind of like it like feels like I'm diving into a fantasy world. So I really love the Hobbit. And you liked it?
Yeah,
You had
I
a good time?
liked it a lot. Yeah.
Good.
All right, then.
I was paying attention.
Kind of last thing I had was I don't have it with me, but I read, or rather, I listened to the audiobook of Abundance by Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson. I don't know if you would call it a political book, but it's kind of a current events almost type book. I didn't know anything. I don't know anything about Derek Thompson. I know a little bit about Ezra Klein. I've seen some of his columns, some videos of him online, and I liked him well enough that I read this, but it was a little bit of a letdown for me. It felt a lot like somebody, if he was kind of just describing problems and then kind of going, someone smarter should do something about this.
That's
It was a very weird book to experience. And then so the rest that I have is just comics. Unless if you want to do your books first, and I can do my comics after. I don't have any of the comics on me.
You don't have them? Okay. So, obviously, we started off with we started off with Never Let Me Go. That was the beginning, and then we finished with Calabasas and Interview with the Vampire. My next book here is Slewfoot. Slewfoot was part of a Discord server, and we voted this at the book club, and I liked this book a lot. It was a lot of fun. Abatha, obviously, kind of have this witch theme and like these goat legs underneath. This is the first Brahm book I've ever read, and super thematic, super atmospheric. I was immersed in the world really quickly. The characters were great. I hated some of the other characters, but yeah, I had a great time. I felt like I wanted to give this a 5, but I felt like the end, even though the end was like fitting, there was something I felt lacking, or I wish there was kind of like another way to have finished it. It's still like 4 or 5 for me or something like that, but I just wish there was a little bit more that I could have gotten from it.
Yeah, I know there's some. I'm part of the Discord server, but I did not read the book because I don't like horror.
Yeah, he doesn't like me.
And I know there's illustrations in that book, and I think the author does all the illustrations himself.
Yeah. Let's see. We have main girl, Abatha. Other weird things. See, kind of creepy. I like it. Very atmospheric, and I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it's kind of set in this like Salem witch trials era, so like I think it's set in Connecticut, or whatever. But yeah, it's very like puritanical, like kind of that sort of vibe going on. Recommend it if you're into spooky shit. Recommend it. This other one I have is This Is How You Lose a Time War by Amal Matar and Max Gladstone. You read it?
Yes, yeah, good book.
Yeah.
Divisive book.
Yeah. So I knew going in how divisive it was. We met each other on To the Ramble, that Discord server, and I know they had just read it just before I joined.
Yeah, same, I think.
Okay.
I think it was maybe 1 or 2 book clubs before I joined.
Yeah. And a lot of people didn't like it there. I had heard about this book. Obviously, just looking at the cover and everything, it was just one of those books from way back in the day that I just caught my eye. And then I heard people not liking it, and then I heard like what the actual story is about, and I kind of like wanted to read it myself. Especially there's a friend of ours that she likes it, but she DNFs books all the time, and I was hoping to read it and then also DNF it for her. Yeah, I fell in love with this. I give this a 5-star.
Yeah.
I don't think it is a 5-star book, but I give it a 5-star because
I could be misrepresenting people, but I think a lot of the reason people tend to rate it lower or not like it is because they go into it with different expectations based on the title.
So I was actually glad that I knew kind of like beforehand that it's not really like a sci-fi like shoot 'em up. It's a love story, essentially. It's told from these 2 different perspectives, red and blue, and they're writing like notes to each other, and yeah, had a great time with it.
And there's 2 different authors, so I believe it's actually each one of them is a different character, and they're writing the letters back and forth to each other.
Yeah, Red was my favorite, right? So she's the best. I had a blast with this, and yeah, there's some lines in here that just hit me hard, and I was like, yep, you know how to write for me. The next one. This is Library at Monk Char by Scott Hawkins. This book was recommended to me by a friend, and I had no idea what it is. I mean, you look at Library at Monk Char and you hear like horror, so I'm expecting like some sort of like haunted house. Not really a haunted house, but like that kind of like vibe. Mm-hmm. It is not that at all. It is super weird. I didn't love it as much as her, but I thought it was great. I think I gave it like a 3.5 or 3.75, so like a 4-star on Goodreads, and it is so weird. I can't really attempt to describe what happens in this book. Imagine it's like you have this family of people that gets adopted by like father, I think is what they call them, and it's all like magical witchcraft, and it kind of delves in, like it kind of becomes so much more to like a cataclysmic event, and you don't even get into the library until the last like third of the book. Super weird. The character, like I was just like the entire time I'm like, what's going on? How do we get like? Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
And where's the damn library? And I couldn't find it. I still recommend it. It's still kind of weird. Just know that you're not going in there finding a house or a library that's haunted. I also read Saying Nothing by Patrick Radden Keefe. So this is a story about the Troubles in Ireland and following certain characters. And I'm not gonna. This might be up there as one of my favorite non-fics. It's told in a narrative non-fic way. So you're kind of like following these certain, not characters, these certain people, and their involvement with the IRA in Ireland during the time of the Troubles.
Yeah, for people who don't know, definitely not me. What are the Troubles?
The Troubles is a time, so obviously Northern Ireland is kind of a divisive place because it's British, but it's on Ireland, and you have obviously a lot of like Catholics and Protestants over there, and it's kind of like this. I don't know, like it's essentially like the Brits hate the Irish because they're Catholic, and the Irish hate the Brits because they're Protestant.
Gotcha.
And so back in I don't even know 70s, 60s, maybe around that time, there was a lot of like militaristic action being taken on both sides, and obviously very divisive. You follow a lot of these characters that are part of the IRA, and they're telling their story on like how their daily lives about like them constantly like passing checkpoints or like being raided by the cops or being like people just being shot dead and everything by the British and all that stuff, and then them obviously fighting back, them like developing bombs to use IEDs, all that stuff, and it's troubling. And honestly, I like the fact that you're put into the mind space, the mindset of these prominent figures within the IRA. I'm not sure if you're supposed to empathize with them, but in the end, I was like, man, these people are fucking terrible. I'm Cuban, so like the whole revolution thing is kind of like weird for me, and seeing these people like, obviously they should get their liberty or whatever, all BS, but like going about it the way they did is kind of like troubling. So I really liked it. I really liked how the story was told. You got all these different pictures of all these real life people and their involvement or non-involvement because they've never been caught out specifically. And yeah, really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
All right, what's up next?
Wuthering Heights.
Making so much noise.
I'm gonna slap this book. And Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I hate every single character in this book, and I love this book at the same time.
Yeah,
It is. Have you read it?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, yeah. So everyone in here is deplorable. Everyone in here is terrible. I did not like a single one of them. Even the main guy in the beginning, idiot. It's not like a romantic book or anything like that. I feel like it's just like you're following these terrible people and their lives, and it's just I loved it because of that. Because I knew going in that it wasn't whatever romance novel or anything. And yeah, Heathcliff and Catherine, they're both equally terrible people, and everyone else that follows them, terrible as well. Loved it.
Are you gonna go see the movie?
I was told to go watch it.
The new one coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a little controversial.
Really? Why?
Yeah, the casting. People don't like Margot Robbie as Catherine because Catherine's supposed to be really young, and people don't like it. I think it's Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna cast it like how it is here because you're in this. Yeah, obviously this time period where like the age of the women is just super young compared to everyone else. So the next book I have is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. This is also another book club book in another server. I really like this book. I hadn't read Bradbury since middle school or high school, and even then I probably sparked notes like Fahrenheit 451 or what it was.
Yeah.
I was not reading like that. Or I was reading, but I wasn't reading any of the books I was assigned to read. Man, I really like the way he wrote. He kind of meanders a bit like King, but I feel like it's more poetic and more like poignant in his meanderings. This is a story about like two kids and a strange circus comes into town, and them like kind of their encounters or their adventures that go alongside that circus. And there's like a touching tale of like a father-son dynamic here. Yeah, I really liked it. I don't think it's not like super high for me. I'd probably like a 3.75 or 4, but I think it did a great job with the writing and just kind of like the atmosphere of like being in that carnival. You kind of get that creepy sense of this creepy carnival going along, but not enough plot for me, which probably is not what it's meant for. But I had a great time with it, and I liked the writing a lot. A friend of mine really liked it too, and I also recommend this. There's not many books here that I do not recommend. Actually, all of them except for Calabasas. Calabasas don't ever read. My
is this?
favorite, El
Oh,
Principito.
Little Prince,
So
yeah.
Little Prince, I read it in Spanish, El Principito, by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This is a kid's book. I read this book when I was a kid. I think it was a signed reading. I think I read it in Spanish first, and then I read it in English, and then I read it now again in Spanish. I loved it. There's it's great.
I
Look at
think
the
it's,
artwork.
it's originally written, I think, in French.
In French,
right?
yeah. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry is a Frenchman. Yeah, you have all this little artwork. You have the accountant, you have the lamplighter, or the, I don't know how to say it in English, if I little, like whatever, the stupid king. Yeah, I love this book. It's so touching. It's so like wholesome. I want to hold this little prince in my hands and just like carry him around and show him the world, and like I want to take care of his little flower. It's great. It's great. Kids book. It's like 90 pages. If you haven't read it already, just read it, please. It's 5 stars. Obviously, it's just like more nostalgic, but I think the themes and like the messaging that goes along with this story is so beautiful. It's very like obviously Catholic or Christian coded, but I mean I think the messaging itself is just really great, and it's very touching, and like you feel this the change that the protagonist or the narrator is going through as he continues finding out more about the Little Prince, and it's like it kind of teaches you how to appreciate the little things in life. So
Yeah.
definitely recommend it. I read the last book of the Book of the New Sun, which is The Earth of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe. This started off as a buddy read across several different BookTube channels. I know John from Talking Story was doing it. The Two
Austin
the Ramble
and Richard,
guys.
yeah.
They had Chris Rocchio on. I think they have. I'm not sure who else was on that initial one because there was so many
I
people.
think
Dr.
was
Chase.
Preacher reads?
Preacher probably, yeah. Preacher was there. I know a lot of people were on there, and then a lot of people kind of like jumped on. And like I watched a lot of videos about this series specifically because
Yeah.
there's so many things that are like coded into this
Yeah, that's what I've heard about it.
this
Yeah.
series. So this is the 5th book, sometimes dubbed as the tag along or the one that the publishers forced Wolf to write. I thought it really completed the story for me. It kind of like brought everything back into perspective. A lot of the things that were just super weird and out there throughout the first 4 books, and this kind of like tagged it all up together and made sense. This was not my favorite. I think my favorite of the series is still the 3rd one, The Sword of the Lictor.
Okay.
But this is, I think it was a good bookend to this series.
Cool.
And I mean, if you want something really trippy and you're not afraid to be like not weirded out, but just like confused, definitely read the series. Obviously, Rocchio used it a lot very heavily.
Used it?
Yeah, he used it very heavily in his works. So read it. It's really good. I have Death's End, which I finished off a lot of series this month. Death's End is by Xixin Liu and translated by Ken Yu. Yeah, super thick. So Xixin Liu is Chinese native, and he wrote, this is the 3rd book of Remembrance of Days of Earth's Past, or Days of Earth's Past, something like that. 3 Body Problem. It's on Netflix, and I know a lot of people know it. So it got weird in this one. I mean, got weirder than most, and I feel like I was kind of talking about this with a friend of mine, and there's a narrative style that a lot of Asian authors have. And this very much like kind of falls in line with that, and it's a lot of like telling, not showing. And I like the series as a whole. The 2nd book is obviously my favorite. I think the 2nd book so much crazy shit happens there. But this 3rd book I thought ended really well. It was not my favorite, but I think it was a good ending and very strange ending to this series. I know there's another book after this that people say, like are kind of back and forth on whether you should read it or not. I'm not gonna read it, or at least not gonna read it anytime soon.
I didn't know there was another one.
Yeah, I like this one, so I definitely recommend 3 Body Problem, Death's End, Dark Forest, and Death's End. So this one left me kind of haunted. You think this is a thick book? This is a thick book right here. This is 1,000-something pages. It is It by Stephen King. Just hold on to that because that is a chunky boy. We read this at the buddy read on To the Ramble, and I know a couple other people. I read it with a couple people on To the Ramble, and it's a buddy read. It is, I mean, it's a classic story. It's if you haven't seen the movies, or if you haven't watched the TV series, whatever, it is. I think King before he sobered up. Super creepy. As I was reading this book, I felt like constantly I was getting body checked. I was just getting like punched in like my body, and then once I feel like I could relax a little bit, they come in with a hard haymaker that leaves me breathless. It was so much like and so visceral and so like it's just a lot of damage being done in this book. And then, which I think could have been slimmed down. I give this like a 4 or 5. I think it could have been slimmed down to maybe 200 pages less or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's obviously the scene that everyone talks about. I hated that scene. I don't think it was as graphic as people mention it or say it is, but it's not something I liked. I thought it was stupid. It added nothing to the story, and it was that along with another like 180 pages, because I think it's like a 20 page, or not a 20 page, but it's a good chunk of pages for that scene. I still recommend it. This I'm getting into my King era. I started off with 11/22/63, loved it. Pet Cemetery, rough, loved it. And now this is just like, this was the one that was probably like, it had like the most kind of like shocking, like every time it was just like more like visceral, more cutting like imagery. Yeah. I know I have books that I don't have physically here. So, Interview with the Vampire, we talked about, the Buffalo Hunter Hunt. So, right there. Buffalo Hunter.
Over my face.
Yeah, over your face. Like, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be over your face, but I'm gonna edit it over my face. Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. It is my second Stephen Graham Jones book. The first one is I Was a Teenage Slasher, also recommended by a friend. And then I share library cards with people, so they happen to pick this up. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I can pick this up too.
I think you can say who recommended it to you.
No.
We've mentioned other people so far.
No. I would mention everyone else. These people never get a mention because they don't deserve it.
That's his choice, guys. the two of you who are watching this, that's his choice.
Two of you that are messaging us right now, that's what it is. Buffalo Hunter is written by Stephen Graham Jones with an indigenous person. I mean, it's a vampire story told from a native perspective, and it's told in an epistolary form. It is very, very violent, very graphic. I like Teenage Slasher more. This one was good too. I gave it a 3.75. I enjoyed it. I thought it's not too long. I had a good time with it, but very graphic, and I didn't connect as much with the stories. I'm not sure if it's like a epistolary format that it kind of detaches me from these characters, but yeah, had a good time with it. If you are into horror, read it. Apostles of Mercy, I did not bring it because I completely forgot that I had read it, but Apostles of Mercy right here over my face is the third book of the Numina series, or the Numina trilogy. It's written by Lindsay Ellis. Lindsay Ellis was a video essayist on YouTube for a while, and then she wrote these books, and then she kind of got off, and I think she's coming back. I'm not sure what she's doing right now, but it is a third encounter story, and like follows a perspective of this young girl, I think early college, and her interactions with these aliens that then the world kind of like finds out. And this is the third book. The second book was really kind of like traumatizing. It dealt a lot with PTSD. This one kind of came back. I didn't enjoy it as much as maybe the first two books, but I thought it was a very solid ending to it. I think I gave it a 3. Yeah, 3. I'm very generous with my stars. You are not so much, but I enjoyed it.
I see a 0.25 on your list right
Well, yeah, that's the last one I'm going to do. I have 2 more books right here, and then that one is going to be the last one I do. The next book I read is Return of the Crimson Guard. It is the second book of the novels of the Malazan Empire, which is the co-series along with the Stephen Erickson books. This is written by Ian C. Esselmont. I know a lot of people say that this is the tag-along series or whatever, or like the sub-series. No, these guys co-created this world and they wrote it together, and it goes kind of hand in hand. They have different writing styles. Malazan Book of the Fallen is one of my favorite series, but I'm starting to get into this, and I enjoyed this one. This one's a little weird, a little like confusing and stuff. I think most Malazan books are confusing, and you're getting a lot of information here. I'm not sure if it's because of the characters that I didn't connect as well with it, and a lot of people say like this book, he kind of struggled with like either finding his voice or using Erickson's voice. I think it did a good enough job. I think I did a good enough job. I think on a reread I would enjoy it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot about Malazan.
Yeah, Malazan, first 10 books, loved it from beginning to end. And I know on a reread you'll find more stuff and you'll see more stuff. This one specifically, just because I saw videos of Dr. Chase talking about it with AP Critical, I think his name is, and they're kind of like their enthusiasm for the book. Mm-hmm. I think on a reread I'll enjoy it more just because I feel like I'll have a better connection with the character in that book. And then the last one before the worst book ever. This is Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, the second book of the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. This is a lot thinner than Dragonbone Chair or Two Green Angel Tower. This is given to me by a friend. Actually, I bought it off a friend. And I love these covers, and I like that it's all like, especially the last book is only one book. It's one big, thick chunker. But Stone of Farewell was, I like the writing. It's very classical writing, classical fantasy, very purpley prose. It's slow burn. Take your time with it. I had a great time with it as I was going through it. I see the issue with people saying it's a transitive book. So it's connecting book 1 to book 3, and the pacing in here was like kind of all over the place. I still had a good time because I know I was going in for a slow burn. I know I'm going in for like long, descriptive writing and colorful writing, and I enjoyed it. It takes me back to like classic fantasy, and I started when I was young. So the last book I read is The Age of Scorpius. Now I know you read this one.
I did. Yeah, months before you, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe a month or two. I'm not sure how long, but Age of Scorpius by Audra Winters, if you don't know, is all over the BookTubes or Book Talk, and it's because it was kind of marketed by this young person to be like this world-changing thing, fantasy world. She really loves it. She worked on it so long, and then when she released the book, she had like 6,000 people pre-order her book.
Huge deal.
Yeah. Just from it's self-pub. Yeah. And just from like her videos on TikTok and everything like that, she had all this like push behind her and all this hype behind her. And then when people received it, it felt like it was a rough draft that no one understood what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
And so I heard about this from our friends on Discord, and I had to. I know I started reading it first, and then I had other books that I was kind of like distracting me from it, so I had to finish those. And I finally got around to it, and you finished before me. Terrible. I can't. Calabasas is bad. Like, I did not like Calabasas. I wouldn't say it's bad. This was bad. I don't recommend anyone to read it unless you're into finding out what was terrible about this book. Characters were flat. They were nonsensical. I know the author was saying to that, like, what is it? Neurodivergent characters.
Oh, yeah.
And using that as an excuse for, like, them not making sense. And, like, no, it's not that they don't make sense for that reason. It's because you didn't write them consistently. And there's a consistent continuity errors throughout the book. There's typographical errors. There's editing errors. There's just, like, and then there's some, like, she tries to be profound in some of her writing, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know if we will end up doing a full video on it. But I think we could, because a lot of the videos I see on BookTube about it are people who will say like, "Oh, I read the first 100 pages and then I couldn't keep going," and then we've both read the whole thing.
We should really like back her up and like join her marketing team.
She's not gonna like my criticism.
Yeah, I don't think mine either. But that's my October, and that's your October.
Well, I had some comics that I read. Okay. I don't have them with me, but here, you can put all 4 of them on top of you.
Perfect. Yeah. All over me, just...
I'm doing this kind of project right now where I'm trying to read all of DC's New 52.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with New 52. But
No,
this was back in like 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. It was their attempt at like a reboot.
Like DC does.
Yeah, they tried to reboot it. I thought it was very poorly received.
Uh-huh.
No, people, it is seen largely as a mistake that the company made. But I think the New 52 is super, super interesting.
Okay.
Because for whatever fucking reason, they were trying to commit to having 52 titles going on at all times.
Okay.
But this led to a lot of cool things to where you didn't just have Superman and Batman and The Flash and Wonder Woman and shit coming out. You had some really cool, interesting stuff like war comics and Western comics and horror comics.
Okay.
And it led to a lot of what's the word? It led to a lot of like minority people like leads.
Oh, okay.
Like I think Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle got really big during his time because he had his own comic line and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's largely seen as not good. Like most of the comics they put out were not good.
Yeah, my cousin.
The New 52 was kind of where I got into comics because I was just around the right age. I think I was in like just starting high school at the time. I was getting into comic, and I have very fond memories of it. I have since learned that I basically just read all the good stuff that was in the New 52.
So you're now reading the bad stuff too.
So now I'm trying to read everything to get a better idea of it. So before this month, I had done a few. So, but the ones I read this month were I read Action Comics Volume 3, which is a Superman story.
Yeah.
That was written by Grant Morrison with art by Rags Morales. I think I'm saying that name right.
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't know why. Grant Morrison, beloved comic book author. I don't like his work on Superman. I read All-Star Superman, which I believe was also him. I didn't really love that.
Okay.
This Action Comic series, I didn't love. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I did not really like it that much. Then I read Action Comics Volume 4, and that was the first one that Grant Morrison left. It was a new writer. It was Andy Diggle, and I think the art was Tony S. Daniel. I hope I'm getting those right. I like this more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about me because Grant Morrison is a beloved comic book writer, but I liked this more than Grant Morrison's Action Comics work.
Really?
Yes, he gets the Grant Morrison run, volumes 1 through 3. He gets the overarching villain in that run is these kind of like fourth dimensional imp creatures.
Okay.
From a different dimension, and it just gets really weird and hard to follow at times.
Okay, I can see that.
Then I read Animal Man by Jeff Lemire with art by Travel Foreman. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Excellent work. Yeah, it is. I knew about Animal
What's
Man
Animal
before.
Man?
Animal Man is this kind of he's kind of like a superhero who probably shouldn't be a superhero.
Okay.
So I know. Funnily enough, Grant Morrison did a very famous run on Animal Man back in, I want to say, the 80s or 90s. I'm not sure exactly what time it was. But he did a very famous run on Animal Man, which I've read a while ago, and I actually really loved.
Okay.
But Animal Man is this guy who, he's just kind of like your everyday average guy. He has a family. He has like a wife and 2 kids. And his powers are basically he can kind of emulate the powers of animals. So he can emulate the flight of a bird, and he flies.
Okay.
He doesn't need to like flap his arms or anything. He just flies.
Okay,
whatever.
that's not really
He can
animated.
emulate the speed of a cheetah. He can emulate the strength of
Does
an
he have to get on all
elephant.
fours if he emulates the speed of a cheetah?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't know if I see him do it in the first one. But this was very much trying to this one. It's a much more mature comic coming out of DC. There's a lot of darker stuff in it, and it can get very weird and kind of trippy at times.
Okay.
And then, kind of following the same vein, I read Swamp Thing, the first volume of New 52 Swamp Thing by Scott Snyder. Art, I think, was by Yannick Paquette. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Sounds right.
Excellent book. It's probably my favorite comic that I read this month. I think I might have enjoyed the story of Animal Man a little more, but the kind of story along with the art of Swamp Thing was just great. I don't think there was any art in it that was really like the art itself kind of blew me away. It's kind of pretty standard for comic book art, but it's just some of the page layouts were just really beautiful. Yeah. And that is it for me. Did you have anything else you wanted to go over or talk about?
No, I'm not a big DC fan. Well, I'm not a big DC guy. I like obviously certain runs, but I'm more Marvel. But that's interesting. I didn't know. I had heard about New 52 actually, and after you started talking about it, that was received very poorly. I have a cousin that's super into comics, and he's a DC guy, and yeah, he says that New 52 was pretty bad. So
I just for your birthday, I just gave you one of the first volume of Batman from the New 52, and that is one of the ones that people say is good.
Yes.
That's why I think at the time when it was coming out, I think their kind of main like flagship superheroes, like basically the Justice League, so Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, like these characters, they got very strong creative teams, and that was kind of when I was first getting into comics. That's what I was reading. I was reading the characters that I know about, and so people are kind of like, yeah, well, those aren't the good books from the New 52 because they had these really strong creative teams on them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Well, that was our October. I had a really bad September, so I actually recovered in October, but I don't think I'm going to have the same kind of November. overall, your October was great.
Yeah, I had some ups and downs. I had some very good books, some mid books, and some not so good books.
Very not so
Yeah.
good on my part with Age of Scorpius, but yeah, most of my books were good, and I enjoyed them, and I had a good time with them. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This is again probably our flagship, our first episode, and everything. So
Yeah.
please, what is it? Like, comment,
Comment,
sub,
subscribe,
all that
whatever
stuff.
it is that people say.
Let me know what you think. Please make fun of your friends about their book choices, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's what we're gonna. That's what our brand is gonna be.
Yeah, we're gonna get allowed for this. All right, thank you so much.